combating nutrition disinformation and general bull. It's Jimmy Rants. JimmyRants.com.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another Instagram Live, and we're here with another episode of Jimmy Rants for you. And if you're brand new to Jimmy Rants, head on over to JimmyRants.com, all one word, and then you'll be able to see how this works. So we start off on Instagram. We do an Instagram Live video with all the beautiful people that follow me down there, who I will engage with here in just a moment. Then it's up there for 24 hours on Instagram. Then you can go and follow it and watch the replay of the old episodes of Jimmy Rants on YouTube is where we house those. We also air snippets of the best Jimmy Rants episodes over on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts. We have a nice little highlight show of the best of these here Jimmy Rants. JimmyRants.com is the website. So today's Jimmy Rants, you guys, is a goodie, because I think a lot of people come to keto and the thing that brings them to keto are all the positive benefits that people talk about. So whether it's weight loss, whether it's mental clarity, whether it's disease prevention and or improvement, all of the things that attract people to a ketogenic diet, those are all the reasons why people come to keto. Because you don't just willy-nilly come over to eating low-carb, moderate protein, high-fat for no good reason. You do it for a purpose in mind. And it's generally disease prevention or weight loss. Okay? So then let's say you start keto and you had an expectation level that you would lose 50 pounds. Okay? Not unreasonable to think that you could lose 50 pounds going on a ketogenic diet. But let's say you do that. So you start on it. You go down the journey of weight loss with keto. And you hit 30 pounds lost. You're rolling. And then all of a sudden, everything in your body just stops. It stops losing weight. You don't get any more weight loss after the 30 pounds. Are you disappointed? Are you questioning whether keto works? Do you feel like keto has somehow failed you? Okay, that's one example. How about this? You go on a ketogenic diet because you've heard about how it helps with the mental stuff. So it can calm your mood. It can make you feel better, make your brain clearer. Your memory is better. All of the things with your brain health get better. So you go keto, and for a while you get some of those benefits. But then after a while, you're like, well, I'm still moody. I still have brain fog. I still sometimes forget things. So I'm not getting the benefits of it. Therefore, keto failed. All right. What we're talking about here is dealing with unfulfilled expectations on keto. And a lot of the unfulfilled expectations, I would argue, are possibly irrational, unreasonable expectations. So the person that wanted to lose 50 pounds, maybe all their body needed to do was lose 30 pounds. But because they put a goal on themselves of 50 pounds, they think, okay, I lost 30 of the 50, but it failed because I didn't lose 50. Rather than saying, oh my goodness, look what keto did. It helped me lose 30 pounds. So it's all about perspective here. And then when it comes to some of the benefits that come from it, people will tell me this: I eat keto and I don't get any of the satiety effects. I'm supposed to not have hunger or cravings, and it was supposed to help with that. And so when they don't get those effects, they always say, well, see, keto doesn't work for that. Not realizing that, okay, let's take an examination of what you're doing. First thing I always ask is, what's your blood ketone levels? And if they don't know the answer to that, then my question back to them is, well, how do you know you're in ketosis? So always check to see if you're actually in ketosis before you start blaming keto. But maybe they're also haven't been doing it long enough. Maybe you've done it for 3 whole days and you're supposed to feel like, superpowers in the brain. it doesn't work that way. You have to become keto adapted. You have to let the ketones start to do what they're going to do. So this idea of unfulfilled expectations on keto, it's rampant, you guys, and I'm seeing it literally all the time. People don't give keto long enough, or they're not doing it well enough to be able to be producing therapeutic levels of ketones, which if you're testing blood, I think the therapeutic levels actually start at 1.0. I know a lot of people, they do the Volek and Finney whole 0.5 to 3.0. I think it starts at 1.0. That's when you start to feel a lot of the therapeutic effects of a ketogenic diet. I don't think you get a whole lot more benefits when you go much more above 2 or 2.5. There's no danger in that in any way, unless you're in ketoacidosis. That's a whole nother discussion for another Jimmy Rants. But within nutritional ketosis, about 1 to 2 is the sweet spot. And so if you're getting in that range, you should be able to get most of the benefits that come from it. Now let's go back to the weight loss one for a minute, because you also have this notion that diet alone should be producing the weight loss. And we talked about this ad nauseum before on other Jimmy Rants. There's so many other moving factors in weight loss that have nothing to do with your diet. So stress and sleep and hormonal challenges and medications and all of these things can be very challenging for people when they go keto to help them lose weight. So this person that wanted to lose 50 pounds, but they only lost 30 pounds, they lost 30 pounds. And I think we need to temper back some of the unfulfilled expectations that we have for ourselves and say, hey, look what happened. For a type 2 diabetic, for example, going from a 7.3 on an A1C down to 5.4, huge effect on your blood sugar, that a lot of times people get discouraged because, well, I haven't lost weight. Yeah, but look what you did in your blood sugar, that your A1C shifted that dramatically out of diabetic range. So I think we need to remember all the good things that are happening, even when things aren't happening the way you wanted them to. I mean, guys, I've been very honest. I still deal with weight on my body. It's there. I don't know why it's there. I'm working on things to make it not be there like it was, like it is, but it is what it is. But in the meantime, I'm going to celebrate a 4.9 A1C, an HSCRP level of 1.1 for low inflammation. I'm going to underscore triglycerides that are under 100 and HDL over 50. All of those things are really clear signs of great metabolic health, even in the midst of trying to work on some of the other things that might be going on. So if you have unfulfilled expectations on keto and you think because of that keto has failed, hopefully I've given you something to think about here on today's Jimmy Rants, that you need to focus on the good stuff that's happening and not necessarily the bad. All right, let's see what you guys have to say. Welcome in, welcome in. Thanks for being here. Day number 53 says Nini's Keto Kitchen still going strong. Go Keto fam. Yes, so that's awesome. Keep it up. Hey, what's on the Christmas list? Keto Tiny and Vintage. Are you gonna buy me a present? Is that what this is about? You can buy me a present. You can send bacon. Spartanburg, South Carolina. Just send it right on. What's on the Christmas list? What does that mean? Go buy Real Food Keto. That would be a nice Christmas present for me and Christine. Ask Keto. Anna has a question. We're not taking just general questions, sweetheart. On Jimmy Rants, we do a topic dealing with unfulfilled expectations on keto is what we're talking about here today. But if you have a specific question, please feel free to write to me. She's asking about the blood type diet. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. Bonnie Linnae says, when I was on keto and doing well, had tons of energy, losing weight, etc., all of a sudden I could only sleep 3 or 4 hours of sleep needed. It was awful. I'm wondering if you ever dealt with that. So here's a little thing about sleep and keto that you may not know. When you are in a state of ketosis, your body doesn't have to repair as much during sleep. So actually, ketogenic dieters can sleep. And I've talked to a couple of sleep specialists about this. Dr. Kirk Parsley on the Living La Vida Low Carb show, if you want to go listen. But he told me that when he went into ketosis, he actually ended up sleeping about an hour less than he was and felt more energetic, more mentally sharp, because the body doesn't have to repair as much when you are in a ketogenic state. There's not damage going on that has to be fixed nearly as much as it would on a SAD diet or some other glycating type of diet. So I don't know that you should quit keto because of that. The only thing I can think of, I know some people talk about that they get more vivid nightmares and dreams and things like that with keto, and that could disturb their sleep. There could be something in specific foods that you're eating that could disturb sleep, but I don't think the expectation that you should sleep through the night should stop you from doing keto. I think that would normalize over time. This might have been just a few nights. I don't know all the details of how much you dealt with that on a regular basis. Were you getting 3 to 4 hours of sleep, like weeks, months on end, few days? I can't imagine that being a long-term issue. Do you have nights when you don't sleep through? Sure, but I don't see it being a habitual problem for me or for many people that I've talked to. Lila Grand says, keto has far exceeded my expectations. I just wanted to avoid gaining the usual holiday 5 pounds, and 9 months later, lost 60 pounds, reached my target weight, and loads of other benefits. Great job, Lila Grand. You are a prime example of you didn't really have a lot of expectations going into it. And I think that's a great strategy for people that are doing it. Don't put a weight loss goal on yourself. I think that's silly. Let your body do what it's going to do and reap the benefits from that. I think sometimes we psych ourselves out because we have expectations, and then if those don't get fulfilled to the hilt, oh, that failed, rather than, oh my gosh, look what it did for me, and I wasn't unreasonable in my request of what it would do for me. I was asked what I wanted for Christmas. I said peace and quiet. Kathy Queener Potter, yes, peace and quiet would be nice, I'm sure, if you have a house full of munchkins. This will make your day because we bought the whole stack Sunday for our door prizes. Okay, nice. When I'm wide awake at 3 a.m., I watch info about keto, and it makes me sleepy. Bullock in 2018. Do you watch some old Jimmy Moore videos from speaking in Australia? Yeah, that'll put anybody to sleep. Keto Journey by George. What's up, George? After 18 months on keto, I have needed to adjust my expectations. I expected to be able to shed most of my excess fat, but my body has a different plan for me. I'm grateful to be free from food cravings. And I appreciate that, George, that you went into it with certain expectations, but then you can shift those expectations. There's nothing that says we have to stick with whatever the goal was that we set for ourselves. I'm a goals guy. Definitely set goals for yourself. But I think at the end of the day, if you trap yourself to those goals, and if you don't reach said goals, you failed in some way, that's when goals can be detrimental. So kudos to you for shifting the goals and saying, okay, doesn't look like that's going to work. Maybe there's other things I can do to reach that original goal. But in the meantime, here's some feasible goals. Now, you don't want to make the goal so easy of, well, I want to lose 10 pounds and you have 100 to lose. But you don't want to make it so hard that if you don't reach it, you just psych yourself out that you failed. Create Pure Health. I needed to hear this. Ketones are usually just 0.2 to 0.5. I eat 10 grams of total carbs and only real food. These ketones are frustrating as I see others eating much more lazy keto with 1.0 to 2.0 ketones. My goal is ketosis. So thank you, Create Pure Health. I was hoping this would encourage some people that might be a little bit discouraged. And keep in mind, I don't know how long you've been keto, but keep in mind that those levels of ketones that you're sharing, I don't know when you're testing. If you're testing in the morning, that will tend to be your lowest reading of the day. And so if you're only testing in the morning, I would encourage you to test at least 4 hours after your final meal of the day at the end of the day. And you might be surprised to see that you're well within that range of nutritional ketosis. Don't be upset, though, by what other people are getting. We're all on this journey together, just as not everybody sheds fat really fast on this. Not everybody gets great ketones on this. Just keep tweaking and figuring out what will work for you. I've added several biohacks and recently started working out at the gym, George says. Yep, all good things, man. All right. All right, guys, that is it for this Jimmy Rants. Thanks for hanging out with me here on this Jimmy Rants episode. JimmyRants.com is the website. And so if you're dealing with unfulfilled expectations on keto, what's my favorite line? Don't do that, because it could discourage you unnecessarily from reaping benefits that you're getting from keto. Just because you're not getting the benefits you think you should be getting doesn't mean you're not getting benefit. So focus on that. JimmyRants.com is the website. Stop on over. You can see how we do this whole show. We start off on Instagram Live, talk to all these beautiful people down here, and then it's up there for 24 hours on Instagram. Then we pop it over to YouTube. I think we're at 60-something episodes now of these Jimmy Rants. And then we have a Jimmy Rants podcast, which we're quickly approaching 20 episodes of the best kind of moments from these Jimmy Rants. Go check all of that out, you guys. JimmyRants.com. And until we come back a little bit later on, we'll see you then.